Welcome to First Impressions. My name is Carl Lee.
And I'm Jaysen Headley.
So First Impressions, we're going to give you the first literal impressions of books that we read each week. Right now it's just books, but comics, but we'll also do other things, videos and video games and movies and whatever in the future. So this week is kind of special. We're doing a whole bunch of books, actually. We're going to group 3 books together this week.
And do like a multi-review.
Yes, it's basically Forever Evil Justice League. Yeah. It's going to be one.
So Forever Evil number 7, Justice League 30, and Justice League of America number 14.
Yep. Wonder Woman 31. Features N3.
3, yeah.
And Saga 19. We're going to go through these kind of quickly. I didn't have much to say about the covers. They were just kind of whatever. Forever Evil cover, whatever. Justice League cover I thought was actually good. And the Justice League America cover I thought, oh good, Hawkman's up front.
Yeah, of the 3 of them, Justice League was probably my favorite cover, though they're all pretty kind of standard.
Yeah, they are.
Standard fare.
But Forever Evil one I just liked the least. It's just a bunch of people fighting.
So overall, story-wise, what'd you think?
Story?
Oh, art. Sorry.
Well,
talk
overall
about art first.
I thought Forever Evil's art was actually very, very good. Very decent. Finch, great work. Justice League is split between 2 artists. I noticed, or maybe 3 actually. Now I'm looking at it. I don't know. It was fine, I guess. It was fine. It's good. Justice League America, it was all right. It was good, I guess. I don't know. I just remember some pictures of Lex Luthor's head looked really, really big. And weird.
I feel like of the 3 of them,
League, actually.
Yeah, Justice League of America probably had the most inconsistent art. Like there were pages that were gorgeous and pages that were a little
Yeah.
Forever Evil's art was really great. Justice League's art, I don't think Justice League's art is ever going to be something that I open and go, oh my gosh, I love the artwork. But it's really standard. It works for what it is. Nothing about it threw me off. So artwork, I'd say pretty standard across the board, with Justice League America being a little on the weak side. Story,
oh my god, there's just so much, like if you're including all of them together, but even just Forever Evil by itself has so much packed in. Like this is like the ground floor for DCU, like you know what I mean, like this is DCU. Anything that's going to happen in the future is going to come out of this in the whole line of books and stuff.
Right.
And I thought Forever Evil was great. It was fun to read. There was lots of little tiny surprises, I thought. They had little mentions of names that I was like, wait, is that like Captain Trainer? I don't know. I thought that was the Doom Patrol. I can't really remember. The baby, between Alex Luthor, is that right? Yeah, Alex Luthor and Superwoman and things like that. And then like Bizarro dying. I didn't expect that. And then him trying to create another one that'll take another 5 years. So maybe we'll see Bizarro, the new Bizarro in Futures End.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
That. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Forever Evil was really a great culmination of the story. Like, I feel like they tied up all the loose ends. I found it really rewarding to see the end of this story, especially since it's been a while since we got an issue of Forever Evil. Yeah. It was just a really great ending. I like where they ended. They always said that Forever Evil was going to be to set up Lex Luthor in a completely different position than we've seen him in before. And they definitely did that. I kind of like that the Justice League itself as well as JLA are really kind of divided and split apart right now, so it's kind of time to rebuild, which is what we see in Justice League, and kind of figure out like who's going to be on what team and who to trust and who we don't trust. And I think that's really great. I think it's cool that they kind of deconstructed everything and now we get a chance to kind of rebuild from the ground floor. As far as story though, the only one that really didn't do much for me was Justice League of America. And I mean, I love Justice League of America. Like, of the 3 books, it's usually my favorite. I think the big reason it did nothing for me is we are 2 issues past this now.
Yeah. I mean, it was too much setup anyway. It was just kind of like a setup, and it was kind of how do we bleed into the next series? Let's have her interview Trevor and tell everyone who's reading where everyone else is.
Right, but if this had happened, if we'd gotten this issue before Justice League United, I think that would have been okay for me. But because we are already 2 issues into Justice League United, like, who cares?
But I still like that, there's something going on between Waller and Trevor and trying to, you know what I mean? They're still trying to run the show behind the scenes and all that stuff. Which is still interesting to me. Like, it makes sense. I was wondering what's going to happen and what happened to Justice League of America, blah, blah. But it seems to make a little more sense now.
Yeah.
On what's happening. And I thought it was interesting. Like Captain Cold is in the Justice League now.
Yeah.
And I thought it's very interesting. Okay, so there's lots of spoilers in this, obviously, but
Right.
Lex Luthor goes to visit Bruce Wayne and say, "Oh, I'm here to meet with Batman. Can you tell him Lex Luthor is here?"
Yeah, it's great.
I thought that was really
Yeah.
funny, kind of cool, rather. Like what's gonna come out of that? You know what I mean? And the fact that this is officially when Shazam joins Justice League. I
Yeah.
never even thought about it, but he
never had
hadn't
before,
joined
yeah.
yet. And it was Lex Luthor who brings him in. It makes me feel like there's some kind of ulterior motive or something going on there. Some other interesting things I thought was passed on really quickly was like, okay, Lex Luthor built the new watchtower.
Yeah.
But then they're just gonna be like, oh yeah, we'll just stay there even though he's gonna.
We'll
leave.
just take it. Don't worry
Like,
about it. Yeah.
really? Do you already say you don't trust him? You don't want him to be in Justice League, but we're gonna take your.
I know, right?
That just didn't seem right.
Yeah,
That
that's like the
didn't-
Justice
that
League
didn't
Dark
seem
being
character,
okay,
right?
just taking the
Yeah.
what is that, the house in Justice League Dark? What is that called?
House of Mystery.
Yeah, the House of Mysteries.
Or
Just
House
being
of
like,
Secrets or
just
whatever.
John Constantine goes, oh, you know what? Just take it, and they're like, oh, okay, like without
It just
question.
doesn't seem very characteristic of these heroes to be like,
Yeah.
yeah, we don't really want to rebuild it anyways, you know. So let's just.
That
take
we
it."
don't have time for that.
Really?
Yeah.
That we hate you. We hate you. Oh, thank you.
Oh, that's a nice.
You know what I mean? Like that just didn't seem a characteristic, and I thought it was a nice touch to stomp on Atomica. I didn't even
Yeah.
realize what happened to her, and I thought it was ridiculous that she just came out of nowhere,
That's
underneath
great.
a rock. Right, it happened to be right there. It was just, I thought that was a little
Yeah.
too contrived, but
Well,
I
I
just
like
wanna
it because I feel like so often in comic books, justice is not really ever done. It's like, oh, you just did something completely awful. Go to jail until you escape. But this was like, you did something completely awful. Dead. Like, it was nice to kind of see her get her comeuppance. I liked that a lot. So, that was good for me.
I also like that they added a little tiny moment just to remind you that there's something going on between Batman and Catwoman, but Batman is in denial or won't let it happen
Yeah.
because of who she is or something. And also, they also implied that there was some history, I think, is what they're implying, the history between Batman and Wonder Woman. Therefore, that's how he can use the lasso to make a connection with her and bring them out.
I thought about it. I don't think there's an actual, like, romantic history there. I think it's because they spent a lot of time together. They had that whole scene where he, like, took her in and was like, listen, you're Superman's only weakness, so if something goes to hell, you have to take him on. Like, they had kind of that friendship. I don't think it was a romantic
No,
thing.
I think Martian Manhunter was like, you know what I mean.
Wait, does Martian Manhunter do that
Yeah,
thing?
but
Like,
he did it in here.
Oh, okay.
You know,
It was-
but like, you know what I'm saying? That's what he was implying.
mental
that,
snap.
You know what I'm talking
Finger snap.
about.
Okay.
Man. And I thought that's kind of cute that Martian Manhunter and Stargirl.
Yeah,
like
I love their
buddies.
friendship. I mentioned that last week when we were reading Justice League United. I think their friendship is great.
That never existed. And it's an odd pairing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the old,
But that's what makes it fun.
pre-52, you know, it's odd pairing. So you would never think that. You know, I think that's kind of cool. Maybe when he hasn't turned human yet, has he, Martian Manhunter?
No.
Because if he did, maybe he turns into this like young guy and they become like buddies and
that'd be
friends or
interesting.
something. You know.
Cool. Well, any last thoughts before we move on to the other books?
No, I give it 9.5 for a whole shebang.
For the whole shebang, I'd probably give it a 9.0. It would be a 9.5, but like I said, Justice League of America, like, I don't
That's
care.
true.
I don't care. I don't want to read something last week and then this week get a, well, previously to that. That's just pointless.
Yeah, that's true.
Waste of my time.
They weren't all, you know,
Yeah.
field goals, but
Yeah, but Forever Evil and Justice League were good enough that I can ignore that for the most part. So 9.0 for me. So next up, we're going to do Future's End number 3, which is a book that we've reviewed the first 2 of so far. So cover?
I don't know. I liked it. The covers are nice, always nice, and I think it's great to see the tattoo that Mr. Terrific has. I think it looks cool.
I find this cover to be really boring and silly, and I get
Mhm,
nothing
cool.
out of it. But that's just me. Artwork?
Oh, he's so much cooler than he used to be. I mean, he has that badass tattoo on his back.
I like the Batman Beyond is on it. That's cool.
Mm.
Yeah. Artwork?
The fart work. It was just, you know, whatever. It was just kind of whatever. It's
Yeah.
going through the paces type of artwork for me.
Yeah.
Nothing spectacular, but nothing horrible. I mean, it's good enough. You know what? It was easy and good enough to like enjoy and read, I guess.
For me, the artwork of Future's End, and I've talked about this in the previous 2 videos that we did about Future's End, is just really the worst part of the book for me.
Yeah.
I do not like the artwork. I think the characters have this, like, '80s chiseled artwork look
That's
when they're
Dan Jurgens. He's
yeah,
from them.
and I hate it. I just hate it. Like, there's so many better things out there. Like, I love how the new form of art, like Hawkeye and Wonder Woman, and so when art is this old school, it just really is jarring for me. And not only that, I find it to be really lazy. I still think the paneling in this book is really uninspired and boring.
That's true. It is. Yeah, it is. Look at that.
So yeah, the artwork for this, for me, the artwork is almost bad enough for me to not want to read this book anymore. For me, personally.
You know what? I mean, you were kind of right. I mean, I don't like the way Grifter looks.
Like, look at this.
I thought that was Booster Gold.
This is awful. This is bad artwork.
Oh, Dan. Well, if he's just talking about, like, the paneling where it's just, like, that.
But most of the
consistently.
yeah.
I guess that's true. We were just reading very fast, so I didn't pay too much attention. But it is very true. I was really, really just paying a lot of attention to the story. But yeah,
So
I mean,
story.
hopefully there's, they have a rotation of artists.
Yeah,
so
hopefully.
maybe that'll change.
Yeah.
Because this issue 3 won't have that much more before we'll give it up if we don't like it anymore. The story, what do I think of the story? I think it's interesting that all of a sudden Firestorm, the two guys in there, Ronnie and Jaysen, they're like total enemies to the point where Jason's like, I'll kill you.
Yeah.
When I get out. Well, not even telling him, but like secretly in his head he's saying, when I get out, I'm gonna kill you.
Oh dear.
I don't know. Yay, Frankenstein. I don't know.
Yeah, which again came out of nowhere. Like, what does that have to do with anything?
I think I kind of like that they're aligning Grifter to be like the whole alien threat dude to go to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe that's gonna lead into somehow the Wildcats. I could totally see it happening somehow, and I thought it was really cool at the end. I really loved seeing Red Robin. He's like
all
a
grown
little
up.
older, and all like he has beard, and I'm like, oh my god, he's like the next Dick Grayson right there.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, story-wise for me, there are little points that I liked. Like I enjoy the opening scene with Frankenstein, even though it has nothing to do with anything, and once again isn't explained in any way. And I like the scenes with Grifter, though again they don't connect with anything yet, even though we're 3 issues in. I like the thing with Red Robin, but again, has nothing to do with the rest of the story so far.
I think they're just pulling, they're just setting people up to pull them into the storyline.
They are.
Where's Frankenstein? There
right, exactly. And I understand that, but we're 3 issues in and things still aren't really connecting. And more than that, a lot of the writing, there's a lot of dialogue in here that just doesn't need to be there. And when I'm reading it, it just makes me feel a little bit bored.
Wow.
Because I feel like there's a lot of excess that they could have easily trimmed. There's a lot of fat that could have been trimmed in this
Jaysen
issue.
reads really, really fast. I read really, really slow. So, I mean, I don't know if that makes a difference, for him and me in that regard.
So when he gets done with a page, I have a little bit extra time to really take in how much I hate the art.
Wow. So I have less time to enjoy art because we had so many books to go through today. I kind of had to speed through it. So that's not really fair, I guess, to some of it for a review. Also, I wanted to mention, because I thought maybe Grifter leaning into the Wildcat somehow in this book, I think, down the line with the alien threat, and then there needing to be a covert operations team, which is what Wildcats were in the past, that Mr. Terrific will somehow be an impetus for starting that as well as, like, because Terrific, what's that company, his company called? Terrific Wear or something?
Something like that.
I feel like that reminds me of the Wildcats organization called Halo. They were this organization and company that developed all these different type of technological hardware and software, whatever, things, and later in the Wildcats series. But it kind of reminded me of that, and I thought maybe that all can kind of come together somehow. And I gave it all a 7.5.
Oh, really? I gave it a 6.
Ooh! Ooh.
I really did not like this book.
I read it fast, so 7.5 means I don't know that I want to buy it, but I will definitely read it or download it to read it.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I necessarily would buy it. So, next week is kind of like a...
Yeah.
I mean, they got Grifter in there. I mean, something's probably going to break in the 4th issue that's going to bring things a little bit better
Hopefully.
together.
I would love for it to be a book that I want to read. There are things about it that I like, but there isn't enough of it. so far for me to like. So
there's just a little bit enough for me to be super interested. Like, I'm just very, very curious about a lot of these other characters. They still have to bring in Amethyst, where they showed her in the back as like a flash forward or whatever upcoming thing, and half of her face is burned. Whatever.
So,
not that she's this popular ass character that everyone's waiting to see either. So, but I am curious.
Right.
All right. Next up.
Next up is Saga number 19 cover.
It's very simple, and I love how they made Saga like the
I like
lights,
that
theatrical
too.
type of lights thing, and and it fits in with the theme of story. And I realize now there's the theatrical lights in the back and stuff like that, like she's on stage. But otherwise, like, why is she dressed up like a superhero, which is different and odd, and I think that's fine. It's great. I think because
it's very Saga.
There's always something new and fresh coming out of it, so that's good. So it's nice to see a different type of image where you're like, what?
Yeah.
What's going on?
It's a very simple cover, but it's very, very Saga. It raises questions.
What's going on inside? Who is she?
Yeah. I was like, who is this character? So, artwork?
I had never thought much about Saga's artwork, to be honest, and that was before when I wasn't caught up and not reading much of it, and everybody had been caught up in reading, like, I love Fiona Staples and stuff like that, and I was kind of like, whatever. But now that I'm caught up in reading it month to month, I thought her art was really, really good, and now in this issue in particular, for some reason, I think it's great. I don't know. Is there any difference for you in the art?
No, her art has definitely evolved since the book started, and evolved for the better. But I've always had a really, really soft spot in my heart for her artwork. I think her art fits the story beautifully. I think her artwork, if anything, I think just the overall like colors of the story have gotten better. But colors in here I can't even imagine what it must be like to get a script for this book from Brian K. Vaughan and then have to draw all of it. It has got to be, you have to be a special kind of person to be able to put what he imagines on a page, and I think she does it beautifully. So, I love her artwork.
Yeah, I think it's really good.
It's great. Yeah, I really, 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 really can't say enough good things about Fiona Staples' artwork. I think it's fantastic. Story?
Story. I don't know. I think Saga is just so fun and easy to read, and like I said, there's always a new fun element to it that I really enjoy. Like, this is totally out of nowhere, and I had forgotten that they flash forwarded to the future, so I don't know if that actually helped me like the art more also, because they actually look different now. Their hair is longer, whatever.
It's been a couple years.
And so, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. It's just, there's so much new in here. It's like time had passed, so everything's that is here is kind of new, and you wonder what had happened, what had gone on. You're just kind of jumping in the middle of where they are right now in their lives.
Yeah.
They have jobs and all this stuff. It's all like brand new.
I mean, for me, and you guys should probably know a little bit of bias. Brian K. Vaughan is probably my favorite comic writer. So coming into this book, I mean, it's really special to see such a crazy world where anything can happen, and every week we're like, oh my god, is there a walrus in their living room now? Like, it's crazy. Yeah. But his dialogue between these characters is so real and so relatable, and especially the main three of the family are so easy to relate to, and that's fantastic in such a crazy mixed up world that he's writing. It is so easy to look at these characters and feel like you're a part of their family, or feel like, yeah, that's my mom, or that's my dad, or that's me as a kid, or it's so easy to connect with them. I think that's what makes this book fun for me, anyway. I think his writing is spot on always. He really, really tells a story about a family very well, and it's very obvious that he pulls things. I mean, he's even said that he pulls things from his life about parenting into this book, and it's very obvious when you read it. I think so.
It's interesting though, because it doesn't it's not like he's going psychologically about what to teach your kids or how, and these are my struggles with raising a kid, but it's more like, I mean, they're dealing with wars and running away from the
but I think at the core,
doing that in real life,
right? But I think it all reflects
maybe
something.
It's all metaphorically,
exactly.
or some kind of symbolic to what he's going through. He feels like he's running away from, I don't know, what kind of war is he running away from? I don't know. I'm curious, what if he does have, parallels in his real life that parallels this?
Well, he does. He said that before, that there's a lot of parallels in his... Well, we'll have to look that up later. But anyway, rating?
How? I gave it a 9.5.
I gave it a 9.5 as well. It was really good. Really great issue. Really great start to a new arc.
Yeah, I like just discovering new things in this world, and you kind of discover them with them. Not really, but in a way it feels like you're discovering with them.
Yeah.
And I love watching Hazel grow up. She's so cute.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't want to spoil it because it's just such a fun cliffhanger if you haven't read it.
Yeah.
The cliffhanger is great. I mean, it's heart-wrenching, but it's a great cliffhanger. It's the kind of cliffhanger I want at the end of a book, not...
Yes, but then part of me feels like it betrays what was given to us in the very, very beginning, in the first issue of maybe the narration saying, her saying, Hazel saying what this book was about. This is a story of this and this and this. And then all of a sudden...
But it goes back to issue 1.
You know what I mean?
It goes back to issue 1 where she kind of talks about how this is a story about how I grew up. So this being a new arc, it's like, this is a story about... So now she's going to tell us this, because she's kind of started to grow up. Yeah.
All right, okay. When you put it like that, okay,
So, yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
I looked at it differently, as if you were kind of going back and putting it on top and erasing the... Yeah, I didn't think of it like that.
It's like a new
chapter.
New chapter, yeah.
Okay.
All right, and last but not least, Wonder Woman, number 31. Written by the lovely Brian Azzarello.
And this, I don't know if he's a fill-in or a new artist.
Subzuka, is that how we say that? Goran Subzuka.
Goran Subzuka.
We probably are saying your name wrong, and we apologize.
Sorry.
If you watch our video, you can complain about that in the comments below.
Just correct us.
Yeah, just correct us.
Cover.
I mean, it's very standard Wonder Woman. I love the colors. I love the page layout. I mean, it's pretty standard Wonder Woman, but it's gorgeous all the same because the artwork's great.
Color definitely pops and simple. It's not a mess.
And I love that it's so bright, and I love that it's so simple. This is what I'm talking about when I say like artwork that I like, and not crazy over the top. Every freaking superhero in the DC universe has to be on the cover. Although that is Forever Evil, so I guess it's kind of fair. Artwork.
Artwork. I was very, very pleasantly surprised. I can't remember if this guy has drawn on this book already before in the past, and I actually think he has.
He has.
I really think he has. But I really thought, oh my god, his work looks just like Cliff's. Like some of it just really looked like his, and I thought this is a great fill-in artist, or a great artist to take over the book if it is, whichever it is. Because the art is so easily, you can go from book to book and not feel like, whoa, it's a completely different artist, or the storytelling is completely different, because it feels it's seamless, and they kind of fit together.
Yeah, the artwork
jarring.
Yeah, the artwork is still really great for me. Especially, I really like to point out that the coloring in this book is great. It's just very subtle but very bright and fun. It has kind of that. It still always has that kind of fairy tale feel to it, like an adult fairy tale, and I really, really like that. The imagery it brings up is really fun, and I like that there are so many characters in this story, and a lot of them are female, but they're all very recognizable. Like, you never have to second guess what character you're looking at as far as a female character goes, and I think that sounds silly, but there are a lot of DC books where I think you look at certain characters like, who is that? And that, I never feel that in this book, because all the characters look and feel so different, and that's a lot because of the artwork.
My only, personal taste complaint is I don't like how some of the cheekbones are sometimes a little bit too much, and then also I don't like it when Diana smiles.
Yeah, every once in a while Diana will smile and look like an 80-year-old woman, and I'm confused. I'm like, who is this?
Right there.
Yeah, like, who is this? Why is Grandma Wonder Woman here? Like, who invited Granny Wonder Woman to this show?
I mean, that one's not the best example either. I think there might have been like this one.
Yeah, there are times where Old Lady Wonder Woman comes out.
Whatever. But
anyway,
yeah, story.
Ooh.
Woo!
Story was good for me. It's still very much a setup issue but it's good to see that everyone's kind of in the same place now. Like, they're all kind of at the island now.
Yeah.
Obviously we've talked about spoilers, but the moment when the sons of Paradise Island show up, that was a really great moment for me. Because that's something so specific to Azzarello's story.
Yeah.
To have them, that was as exciting for me as the Amazons coming back to life in issue 29.
Yeah.
So
everything's done very well.
Yeah, I was really excited about that, because like I said, it's just great to have. We got the men there, we got the women there, we got all the gods there. Like, everything is about to go down. Because isn't issue 32 their last issue?
Oh my god, is it?
I think so.
I don't know.
Could be wrong, but if it is, I'm excited and also sad.
And the thing, I was worried about the Amazons coming back, because I think a lot of people might associate, or at least I did, Paradise Island, the Amazons. It's getting a little old, a little boring. What they're gonna do with? What are they gonna do with it? And when they brought them back, they immediately had them butting heads, with Diana
Yeah,
about
there's always conflict.
the morality or the or how to lead the Amazons or what they represent or how they are gonna grow.
Almost like there's trouble in paradise.
And I just love what they're doing with the Amazons and how they're evolving and there's change.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the static stuff that had been going on for the past whatever years of Wonder Woman. This is like constantly progressing and changing. The Amazons in Paradise Island are going to be different from here on out. The sons are coming back. They're opening it up to men. There's a baby that's going to be growing up in Paradise Island.
Opening it up to men.
Oh,
I like that. They're opening it up to the fellas. So get yourself to Paradise Island.
The baby, Zeke or Zeke, whatever.
You're not supposed to do this to a baby.
Yeah, that's true. But I thought, oh my God, wouldn't that be cool? If there's all of this, there's Amazons who don't agree with this, and so I thought, oh, maybe they'll defect. Maybe one of them is Zealot from Wildcats, and they form the Coda, or maybe the Coda from space come down. And they take these Amazons and they form the Coda, and it's Zealot, and the baby becomes Grifter because Grifter's the only male in all of the history of the Coda who has ever been trained by the Coda. Otherwise, they're always female. I thought, wow, that would have been such a great setup for Coda, Zealot, and Grifter, the pre-Wildcats, but the Wildstorm characters in DC Universe. And I gave it a 9.5.
I think I gave it a 9. It was a 9 for me.
Ooh.
Definitely not a 9, because there have been 9.5s. There have been 10s of this series for me, but this was a 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Should we talk about our poll this week?
Yes.
All right. Well, while Carl pulls up our poll for the week, other than these books, please, if you have opinions on any of the 6 books that we reviewed today, let us know in the comments down below. Make sure to like and subscribe. And if there's a book we're not reading that you think we should be and that we should be reviewing because you love it so much, please let us know that as well. So, what else did we pick up this week?
This is a impulse buy. It's called Itty Bitty Bunnies in Rainbow Pixie Candyland. I don't know if that is based on an animated cartoon or anything like that.
You said that so without a break.
This is a variant cover that, obviously parodies Action Comics. It's by a company called Action Lab, so they're like, ooh, let's parody it. But it looks really, like Jaysen brought it up, it kind of looks Ren and Stimpy-ish.
Yeah.
And there's something that says drugs on it, so it's really adult humor, I guess. And it was 4.99 cents.
And it wasn't even made by Marvel, so that's interesting.
And then I also picked up American Vampire Second Cycle number 3. I'm blindly buying this. I love this series. I think it's so amazing, so great, and I'm a little behind. So blindly blind. Batman Eternal number 7. Blindly blind. I think
blindly blind.
Blindly blind.
We're really behind on this series. We haven't read an issue for like 3 weeks. That's the trouble with books coming out every week, is that I just do not have time.
Blindly buying. So I hope that we'll catch up with it this week, and I'll decide whether or not I want to continue.
I really like this cover, by the way. It's a cool cover.
Yeah. I also picked up this Arcadia book called The Last Broadcast. I think it's Arcadia. Yeah. I just looked through it. It looked really interesting to me, and so this is a impulse buy.
Cool.
Oh my god. Jaysen is really into My Little Pony, and so this is by Dynamite. It's a parody comic called My Little Phony or whatever, and it's a parody comic, and so he's been watching a lot of My Little Pony, trying to get me into it, or at least I'm trying to get him to get me into it, because I thought, if you're so into it, you should be able to convince me to be into it.
I'm really bad at convincing people. Don't watch this part.
Well, now that I've watched a little bit, now I'm like, oh, look at My Little Phony. I want to see what they do to make fun of them. I want to see. And if you look through it really quick, there's a couple storylines, and one of them is with like real men in the real world who are fans, bronies, who've like, altered their bodies to look more like ponies. Some of them have actually horse heads. Some of them have like other horse body parts, like they got under operation and stuff. And I thought, wow, what an interesting book.
I think this came out like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, it did come out a while ago.
Fandom is tragic is the tagline. Fandom is tragic.
And then, of course, because last week we reviewed Shudder number 2, and I said I didn't buy it because I wanted to read it first to determine whether or not I liked it, and we liked it, so I got it.
Yep. So that's our poll. Again, let us know if there's something we're not picking up that we should be picking up, or something that you're reading that you're in love with that you wish we'd do a review on. We're talking about maybe getting into doing Game of Thrones reviews. And I think when Orange is the New Black comes back, we might do reviews on that, like episode by episode, even though it comes out all at once. We're going to be doing our first video game first impressions and our first video game we're going to be doing the first impressions of is Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U when it comes out on May 30th. So check us out for that.
Yeah, I'm not very familiar with that game, so I will be.
It'll be real first impressions.
Yeah, the unfamiliar playing that game. I just feel like there was something. Oh yeah, we could quickly mention that today was announced the title for the Batman Superman movie.
Oh yeah, Batman versus Superman, or Superman versus Batman: Dawn of Justice.
Yes.
Wow, that's just such a lame title. But anyway,
I like it. It's fine. I bet they kind of sound around. Well, it's kind of like the beginning of something in every freaking movie. It's like the dawn of this or the rise of blah blah. So like, it can't be the rise of justice. Well, they had Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, so maybe, and that's a Warner Brothers film. Maybe we can use the Dawn of Justice League. No,
the longest dawn is before the dusk that rises. That was too long, so I just shortened.
So yeah, the Dawn of Justice. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm excited for it. I'm totally excited for it. I can't wait.
I don't know. I'm concerned. I'm concerned about that movie.
Can't wait. I mean, I love the new Batman image with Affleck and his Batmobile. I think it's great. It's all exciting. I think he looks fine. Looks great. He looks totally bigger than this guy right here. All right, so thank you for watching.
Make sure to like and subscribe. You can also follow us on Twitter at Carl K. Lee, at Cucamonga Cat. Make sure to follow us, like, and subscribe. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. We'll see you next week.
Yes.
Let's fall over. Wonder Woman.
Superwoman.
Superwoman?
Well, basically that cut off because of phone call. Well, now we're admitting that we're using a cell phone.
We don't have to
anyways,
say that.
the video got cut off. Also, didn't we see a trailer for something?
We watched a trailer for, I have no idea.
And what are other things you normally tell people?
Oh, do you mean the new trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy?
No, but yeah, that was good.
That's fun.
No, it was good. I like Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, look, Batman's sitting on my hand.
Batman. Oh, that's exciting.
Anyways, what I was saying.
He's far away. Like we could actually, he could be here.
Yes, Batman.